Hello, and welcome to the Hold the Pass podcast, a podcast focused on learning about all aspects of sports from your best friends. And today, joining us on our show is someone you, dear audience, are probably quite familiar with. Her videos explaining complex motorsports content in a fun and accessible way and her bubbly demeanor have made her blow up on social media on the past year. But she is so much more than just a content creator. She is also a presenter and a journalist and has worked with teams like Williams, Cadillac, Audi. She was the director of operations for the Paddock Journal. Please welcome Sarah on the Grid.
Hi, so nice to be here.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I am doing great. I am so excited. Our season's about to start. There's going to be so much to talk about. I'm just fully hyped.
We're so excited. I can't believe the season's already here. I feel like the last season just ended and now it's like, all right, back to waking up super early, everyone.
Yeah, the time differences are sometimes a little bit brutal.
Yeah. It's,
I have to say, I'm over here in Denver, and it
Okay.
makes like the Chinese race and a few of the European races like,
Oh my gosh.
goodness.
I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. I can't do it. I try every year, and every year I'm like, we'll try again next year.
Right.
Just put the phone in sleep mode, put it on airplane mode, and I don't
Yes.
look at it. Like, I'll wake up early, but 3 a.m. is just that wrong. It's the exact wrong point.
I can't do the all-nighters again. That was college me.
There's enough races. It's okay if we sleep in for like 2 of them.
Exactly. And there's playback as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people where it's like, I feel like I didn't get the full race experience unless I watch it live. So like, I don't do playbacks really. I'm like, well, I missed it.
Yeah.
I'll watch the next race.
Oh, no. I mean, if I miss it, I'm definitely doing the playback, but I'm totally with you. I'm definitely watching it live. I think there were 2 races last year that were a struggle, and then I tried to, do a little recap after, and I'm just like editing it. Like, what are you saying? It's way too early.
Right? No, I'm not gonna lie though, my family is the worst for this. Not only do we do playbacks if we miss it, the week before, last year, for every single race, we rewatched the 2024 race.
That is so cute.
Cool. This is a great family. Can you adopt me?
Right? Me too.
You adopt me.
Well,
Yeah, to have them that into it is great. My dad watched a F1 race with me for the first time last year, and thankfully it was a really exciting race. And he had some really good questions. I was like, I should just be recording myself now.
honestly,
Right.
my family, they know nothing about Formula One.
Yeah,
They,
same. Mine doesn't know anything about Formula One. Yeah.
I'm like the yapper in the house. Like, this is what's going on this weekend. But it's so funny. They know nothing about Formula One until there's like some crazy news about Formula One. And then here I get all the messages, Fatima, what's going on? I'm like, oh, so now you guys care about Formula One.
No, literally.
Now you want the drama.
But I'm always happy to tell them because I love talking about F1 so much.
Exactly. Same here. And that's why I'm so happy to be here. Any
Of
excuse to
course.
talk Formula One, I'm there.
Of course, and we're so happy to have you join us on the Hold the Pass podcast. And, let's just get right into it, Sarah. We want to know
Sure.
so much about you, your history, how you got into the sport, and what made you want to become a motorsport content creator. So I guess that's my first question to you is, how did you get into motorsport? And in particular, what is it about Formula One that drew you to it and kept you as a fan?
Well, I'll tell you, it's kind of been a slow journey because as an American whose parents were not into Formula One or any motorsports, I didn't have a lot of access to it. Here in America, it was either, you had to buy some special ESPN package or the ESPN streaming or something like that. And my household was very much local football only. So at
Yep.
least when I was young, I didn't have access to the full races, but I was interested in cars. My grandmother actually bought me a little toy car that I keep up on the shelf there when I was like
Stop.
3 years old, because she was like, well, girls can like cars too. Um,
Shout out
so
to
I
your
might have
grandma.
inherited it a little bit. Yeah. And I was always just kind of interested. Like, they couldn't get me to go to sleep unless I was in a car sometimes. Like, so there was some connection there, even without understanding racing. And sometimes my dad would take me to car shows or car meetups that were local. So I was always very curious about that world. But it wasn't until, I guess, late teens, maybe early 20s, I got introduced to this show, Top Gear,
Oh yeah. Yep.
which is not everybody now is like, I saw Drive to Survive. I'm like, that's amazing. I like
You were
go
the
backwards.
OG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Top
the
Gear
OG.
walked so Drive to Survive can run.
Yes, exactly. And that's I think you would say that that's kind of not exactly my style, but it's very lighthearted. It's very fun, and it made learning about, sort of racing and motorsport really fun. And then from there, I started, I met. I got introduced to a lot of the Formula One drivers that were guests on the show. And then so I started watching, oh, is there a race? Can I find one somewhere online to stream? But then I would watch the race and I would have all these questions. So then I would go on a research dive, and then it kind of became a spiral where I got more curious. So then I wanted to see more races, and then I would do more research. And then I finally bought F1 TV, and that was like my only streaming service because I was like, I don't need to pay for stuff. I'm like, no, this
Hmm.
I need these. I need all of the races. Um, and then my friends started watching Drive to Survive. And then they started asking me questions, and then I became sort of the go-to person for any Formula One questions. And obviously, I don't have like a big engineering background, and I didn't come from the motorsport world, but
Wow.
I just did so much research that they would ask me and I'd be able to answer. And so that was kind of how I ended up starting this content creation. I just kept yapping to one of my friends, and she's like, Sarah, I love you, but it's time. You need to go, you need a bigger audience. She's like, she's like, I've maxed out how much I care now.
I know that feeling. I know the feeling of being a friend
Oh,
who
yeah.
won't stop.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you open the door. She opened the door, but she's like, okay, now it's time to like. And I was like, oh, she's like, but you're so good at explaining things. She's like, you should do that online. Um, and so I was like, well, let's try and see what happens. Like that could be fun. I would love to go to a race, or all of these things that sort of seem so far away when you see other content creators doing them. And so I started, and after a few weeks, it started taking off, and I was just like, well, I'm having so much fun, and I'm in it now, and people are so nice, and I get to talk about cars and strategy and all of that. And so it was a very slow evolution, but yeah, that's my story.
That's
That's
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah, I'm so shocked that you don't have like an engineering background or anything like that,
No.
because wow, that's a lot for one person to take on and learn and then like just ace it as well. That's amazing, Sarah.
Oh, you're
That's
so
true.
sweet. Yeah,
That's true.
my I have a film degree.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense as to why your videos
Yeah.
are great. So there's that.
But yeah, so definitely not engineering. But I think, one of the, while there could be many downsides and upsides, one of the upsides of living in today's world is we do have access to so much information. So you can really do a lot of research. And I'm one of those people, because I don't have a natural math sort of brain, it takes
Mhm.
me a few times. I need to read this article, and then I need to watch this video, and then I need to watch another video. And so before I talk about anything, I need to be able to understand it on a very like deep level. I feel like for me to grasp it, I need to understand the physics of it. I can't just accept, hey, this is how it works. Okay. Like I want to understand on a scientific level how it works. So I think that sort of curiosity is what has given me the tools I need to talk about motorsport.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think that a lot of the concepts that we encounter in F1 are really different from stuff that you'd encounter in like basketball, baseball, soccer, right? It's a very technical sport compared to those, at least, for the average person. I wanted to ask,
Yeah.
your content is very focused on making complex topics incredibly accessible to everyone, and I love that about your work.
Oh, thank you.
Has there been a concept that you found particularly difficult to translate into an easily digestible video?
I will say that the one I'm working on right now is something I understand, but I haven't found a visual way to represent it, because that is what I try and do with my videos whenever I'm talking about the tech or the mechanics of something, I want to visually show people how it works. So I'm dealing with the engine clipping right now.
Okay.
So for 2026, if you're at the high end in your car and you're pushing your speed at the end of the straight, there'll be engine clipping because the battery is harvesting that excess energy, and it makes a very distinct sound. I don't know how to visually show that yet. I don't.
Yeah.
I understand what's going on. I get it. I do like how I actually show that. I don't know yet, so I'm still working on that one.
Yeah, how do you show changes in volume? Like,
I feel I'm like I've done so much, and this one's important.
yeah.
And then it just nothing, no ideas come. So I'm sure I will figure it out. But yeah, the most difficult ones are the ones where no video exists. So I'll say that. Those are the ones where I sort of struggle when it gets deeply technical. But I think what I try to focus on is helping people understand what they need to enjoy the entertainment of the race. So they don't need to understand that. So I've kind of put it on a back burner, but it'll be coming at some point.
Yeah, I really hope you get that video out because I need help understanding that too. Like,
As do I, thank you.
yeah. Your videos are amazing.
It's getting deep into the tech, so trust
That's
me,
okay.
a lot of people don't understand it yet. It's very new.
That's okay. That's what we're here for. That's what this podcast is all about: learning and education, right? Related to that, I wanted to ask you a follow up to what we just talked about, and if there is one concept in racing that you might have misunderstood initially or are explaining differently now compared to how you used to.
Ooh, that's a really good one. Um, I will say a few of my things I've sort of revisited because there are limited ways to sort of explain it. But certainly, I think what's going to be changing the most this year, because I mean, I've only been doing this a little bit under a year, so I haven't had that much time for
Incredible.
change. But it certainly will be strategy because so much of 2026 cars are different. So I think all of our strategy is going to be different. So that will absolutely change. And I'm trying to also thread that needle because at this point, some people who have been following me for a little while have already seen all the basics, so they want the more advanced things. So that'll be a change that I'll be certainly doing this year is I will still continue to cover the basics, but I also want to go into the more advanced topics for people who are like me and just like deeply curious and like want that deep tech. So it won't be as surface level, I'll say.
Yeah, no, I think that makes complete sense. I mean, there's just so much in this world to know and to learn, and like you said, like there's
Yeah.
the basics and then there's the advanced level, and I think the more you get into it, the more I want to say advanced you get, just because your curiosity is just always going to get higher and higher, and like
Yeah.
fans like me, fans like Misha, we're along this journey with you as well. So it's like whatever you're learning, you're teaching us, and we're also growing with you as well, which is what's really exciting about the content that you produce. And I guess in that, you did mention briefly that you've only been doing this for a short amount of time. So I don't know how well you
Yeah.
can answer this question for me, but how has your understanding of motorsport evolved since you started creating content back in March of 2025?
It's definitely deepened for sure because I was watching, every race and sort of looking up things as they would come up. But now I am much more proactive in terms of like, okay, I need to know first, so I'm ready for when people come and ask me questions. So I've definitely gone from, oh, it's something I enjoy as a hobby to this is all my brain is thinking about all of the time. So it's gotten much deeper, and I've known now not just from a few friends who are into Drive to Survive, but like even my friends who aren't and my family who isn't into it, they all know me as that because that's all I'm sort of like talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm also getting more into like the business of it, not necessarily myself, but like in sort of paying attention to the relationships that are happening and the businesses that are investing in F1, because that's a whole nother layer of this sport that I think is really interesting that we don't get necessarily. And like you guys were talking about in like ball sports or in football or in basketball and baseball, the level of investment from different people and how they help F1 teams, I have found really fascinating. So yeah, I've gone from being a sports strategy fan to a sort of
Everything.
all-encompassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what I really, really like about your story is you went from, like many of us, you went from being a fan to really making a name for yourself and building your own brand and your own online presence and identity. And so with that, I know in the past you've talked about experiencing burnout and looking for something new. And Fatima and I, as content creators ourselves outside of this podcast, and as people in today's world, we just know what that feels like. So I was wondering if you could talk a bit about what you kind of experienced and what sort of pushed you to get into content creation and what skills were you able to transfer over from your previous roles to really grow Sarah on the grid.
Well, I will say before I talk about the how of any of it, a good portion of it is always luck. So I can't take
Yeah.
credit for everything. And I always feel for people when they're asking for tips. It's like, well, I can tell you what I know, but I can't guarantee that that's something that is transferable. But my background, like I said, I have a film degree. Now it was in documentary film, so not very creative and more, sort of overlapping with the journalism side
Okay.
and finding a story. So less about producing gorgeous visuals. And I was more focused on like the editing and finding the story and how to ask questions. I'm a very curious person and I love media as well. So it seemed like the perfect sort of merge for that. And then I took that degree and then did nothing with it for a while because it's a film degree. So had some, internships while I had real jobs.
Yeah.
And I eventually, documentary film is one of those things you do. It's not something somebody pays for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, but I ended up getting roles in marketing because a lot of those skills are transferable. They're about connecting with an audience, finding a storyline, talking about a topic. And then I took that marketing skills and I was able to work a little tiny bit, barely. I never even had a full title in social media because social media, if you're in marketing, it's like, oh, that's the fun side of marketing.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the it thing.
Yeah, that's the fun side. Like I was doing print marketing and
I
like
mean,
and project management and all of these, things that require a lot of thinking and not a lot of fun. But I was always like very interested in the social media side because I feel like there's a big opportunity for many people to connect with a community through social media. And so I doing a freelance project. I was moving a huge furniture website onto Shopify from BigCommerce, like just, it's all
yeah.
technical stuff, all behind a computer. And I was staring at a screen for so long. My vision started to have problems.
Yep,
I
I've
was
been
like,
there.
yeah, we've all been
Yeah.
there. And I was just like sort of like down about it. The client was great, everything was good, but it was just there wasn't any joy associated with the project. And so about that time when I was talking to my friend about, oh, there's this crazy stuff going on in Formula One and Lewis Hamilton's starting with Ferrari this year. And she's like, I don't know who that is. Um,
I love that for her.
Wait.
Truly, I honestly love that for her. Saves her so much trouble.
I mean, look, I get she's not an F1 fan, but it's Lewis.
I know, it is
yeah,
Lewis.
no,
I knew Lewis before
she's
I knew
like, oh
F1, but
yeah,
I
you're
get it.
doing that F-150 stuff, right? Is that it? Is she's my favorite person.
Bless her.
So anyways, yeah, so I was like, no, she's like, Sarah, she's like, you are clearly so passionate about this. She's like, you're so good at explaining things. She's like, you should do a social media page. And so I thought, well, instead of like taking on all of these clients as a freelancer, and working for other people, maybe I could have an F1 page and maybe I could like make some cute merch for it or something. Like, I don't know. I'll just start and see what happens. And so all of my background was, in that sort of marketing world. So I understand that there's not going to be a steadiness to anybody who's running a social media account. So if you're doing content creation, even if you're very successful, you're going to have bombs.
Yeah.
And you're going to have virals, or you're going to
Mhm.
have like things that do better and things that go nowhere. But it's so different when it's your own face that's
Oh,
on it. It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, like I thought I was ready. I really did. And I was not. I think the last time I had posted to Instagram was like 5 years ago. Like I just wasn't putting myself out there regularly. And it was all just like sort of friends and family, like, hey, we moved, here's a single picture. And then that was it. So all of those marketing things gave me a lot of skills, but mentally I was not prepared. I was not, this wasn't like a long held dream. It was kind of, oh, let's see. And oh boy, like, oh boy. And then,
Here we
I need
go.
to do this every day to make this successful. And that part I was okay with, the doing of it. But then like the posting and the feedback daily started to be a little bit crazy. So I feel like now I'm steadier because I've gone through some highs and I've gone through some lows, and I'm just not like as tied to it. But I think that just comes with like exposure therapy.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
I
so you
agree.
do it, you don't know what it actually feels like. And I was like, okay, no, you're fine. You're fine. Nothing bad has actually happened. But I was like, but it's not as big as yesterday. Or like, oh no, I lost all these followers. It's okay. You gained some too. But why? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's hardly ever personal. Like, it's hardly ever personal. I think we unfollow and follow people all the time very lightly. So,
yeah,
yeah, I just try to remind myself of that
I
a little bit
know.
more.
Yeah, for sure. For
It's
sure. And
Yeah.
I think all of us have experienced the numbers game that is
Mhm.
social media, and like
Yeah.
the refreshing of like the stats pages, and
Yes.
we've all been there.
especially in your
I've turned
early
up all
days.
my notifications.
Me
Like,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me
I
too.
do enough.
I don't want to see it. I don't even want to know it's there. I'm just done.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry if I've missed your message, but
This is for me and my
there's a
peace.
limit. Yeah.
It's so true though. Like it is honestly so daunting when you're posting yourself. Like
Yeah.
not even like so like I used to post myself all the time back on Instagram, like back in the day when we were all still using Instagram like religiously, and I didn't
Right.
have a care in the world. But like now I'm like, I just can't be bothered unless it's my like the race edit page or mine and Misha's pod page. But even then, I find that like in the world of motorsport, it's even more daunting because you're like, oh, I got to get my facts right because if
Yes.
I don't,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I've certainly like, it's one of those things where you just mess up while you're talking. And like when it's with friends, they'll just tease you about
Mhm.
it. But when it's yourself, I also, and I don't know if this is just my neurodivergence, I don't always hear everything. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to pay attention to
Yeah.
myself. So editing myself is a little bit like,
Yeah.
let me just cut out all the spaces. Okay, done, go.
Me too.
And then it's like, wait. It's like when you hit send on the email, it's like hitting post on that, like, wait, I said what? Like,
I hit
Yeah.
the undo
oh
button on
no.
that
Yeah.
email so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Undo,
Yep.
undo.
I'm
No, for
sure
sure.
you'll find typos in my guides as well. Like, they're there.
It happens
No,
to the best of us.
It really does. I think probably the most egregious error I've ever made was I made a video about like F1 and K-pop, and I called one of the guys like the main rapper, and their fandom just came for me, and they're like, "He's not the main rapper. What are you talking about?"
I would just
It's not
deactivate.
even a mistake. It's just
I would actually just deactivate.
To be fair, they were all really nice, but I have never been more corrected on something in my life. I love you, engines. I love Hype, I love Jay, I promise.
That's so funny.
I'm
Now,
sorry, I got them wrong.
my bad. I guess you kind of briefly already discussed this or answered this question, but you mentioned that back in August of 2025, with you having only been 5 months in this industry, which is amazing, you faced a lot of hardships where you did struggle with the influx of followers that you gained and as well as the followers that you lost, as well as having your content stolen, which is just ridiculous. How did you handle that situation just on its entirety? Because I would crash out.
Oh, well, I mean, I did a little bit, but
That's so valid. So valid.
So, yeah, just so everybody knows, like I was not gifted that blue check mark. That was because they were about to permanently delete my account. So the only way to get support and to not have that happen is to pay for the Meta subscription. Yeah. So
Oh man.
so apparently you can't respond to too many comments too quickly. They don't like that. They're like, you're a bot. I'm like,
I'm a real person.
You're like, I just got a lot of time on my hands.
I'm like, I just want to give them all a response. They gave me a comment. So I was like, okay, so don't do that. And yeah, having my content stolen, that one has been a crazy one because we all know it happens, but then when people do it with an F1 account and then like my 2026 guy got stolen and posted to TikTok right off of Instagram before I could put it on TikTok. And it had like 1 million views immediately.
Sarah.
And I was like, and I only have like 1,000 followers on TikTok and like no traffic to my post. And it was like, you could have waited. You could have just shared mine. And I even commented, I was like, hey, this is my post if anybody wants to follow me. And like the people were not having it. They were like, this isn't about you. And I'm like,
it is. I made this.
Yeah, it literally is. It's your content.
Like, okay. So it's one of those things. Instagram's a little bit better because if you have that Meta, they'll give you support and you can file for like a copyright strike and they'll take down the person's post. So that's been slightly helpful, but at the same time, I'm just like, even if my content does well somewhere else, that person isn't getting invited to meetings and to races because they stole something of mine. So and they're, they can't take away all of the positive interactions I have in my community as well. And that's like my biggest driver is just like getting to talk to people about F1, getting to connect over it. I just have so many nice people there. So I'm like, well, whatever. Now I can say whatever. At the time, it's like, oh my God, why?
Hindsight.
But at this point, I'm just kind of like done with it. If people ask if they can repost my stuff, I always politely say, no, thank you, but you can reshare it or share it to a story, but this is all I have and I don't charge for any of my content. Like none of it is subscription based. Like I just want to help people and hopefully other people like that. But yeah, I'm just at this point, it's happened so many times that now I'm kind of like relaxed about it.
You're such a gracious person, that's for sure.
You're a seasoned vet.
I mean, I'm binge eating chocolate, okay? Like, come on. When you see it do really well, and it's like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
When you see it do really poorly, you're like, okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're so absolutely right about like, yeah, they can steal your content, but they're not going to be in the rooms with you. It's just very egregious. And I'm just like, okay, you stole my content, but like now what? Are you just gonna wait for me to post all the time? But like, how is it benefiting you actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we'll never know.
Yeah. It's an annoying side, and it's one of those things that I feel like anytime somebody asks me for advice, I'm like, well, what does a win look like for you? And I try and like do it for myself, and it's like, even if I could get it taken down, I don't get that whole audience. Mm-hmm. Even if I had the power to stop it, I'm not losing anything per se, big, like the things that really matter when it happens. So I really don't like it, but, yeah, I still feel like I'm winning just by like having, people to talk to and connect with and a good community here.
For sure. And you have a wonderful community, by the way.
You really, really do. And your community extends, beyond just your TikTok and Instagram and your social media pages. You've also done a lot of written and a lot of journalistic content too.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you a bit about the sort of media landscape of racing and what you think the future of racing media is, whether it's independent creators, traditional outlets, or a mix of both.
Yeah, I definitely do feel like it's a mix of both, but I think that traditional media is now listening a lot more to independent creators.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go to the Autosport Business Exchange in London this January, and one of the things that I think James De Lorenzio said was that they were going to take, so he's head of global sports at Apple, and they don't want just weekend content, they want a full week of content. And
Okay.
he said one of the key pillars for them was going to be education. And if you're paying attention to the F1 Instagram and the FIA Instagram, when I first started, it was just like it was a little bit under a year ago, like we're a week out. They weren't really doing educational content.
Mm-mm.
Like it was updates on, calls that had been made or breaking news. They were following the traditional news path. Now I see them doing a lot more educational posts and them doing well. And I've gotten to speak and work a little bit with Motorsport Network, and they're sort of in between where they're, independent, but also quite large
Mm-hmm.
in terms of media, and they said that their educational content is doing really well as well. So I do see that there's a sort of a back and forth, and those traditional media outlets are looking to connect and work with more content creators. And I think, we've seen different content creators come up into presenting roles, whereas before you either were a content creator or you got a job with a traditional media outlet because of your connections and your experience doing presenting outside of F1. So there are those two different roles, and I sort of see them merging a lot more now. And I love it because now you're getting more perspectives. And as a fan, you're getting to decide how you want to get your updates. Do you want education? Do you want news? Do you want it from somebody who is weirdly bubbly and has clearly had too much coffee? Or do you want a pure technical breakdown? Like we have so many options now. And I think that opens up more money for the sport and the people in the sport to get support. Excuse me.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, so I'm really loving the change that's happening, and I do think you're going to end up seeing like more people who are content creators or more people who are influencers, however you label yourself, show up in traditional media. And traditional media is going to be trying to ride that wave of the independent media as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know what you guys think.
Misha, this is your bag.
Oh
Yeah.
God. I mean, as somebody who has their toes currently in both areas, I guess I agree. I'm seeing a lot of overlap with um, even traditional outlets putting out their own social media content or trying to
Yeah.
like produce in-house social media, like viral clips and compilations and things like that. So you're really seeing them take inspiration from sort of what is going on the social media front. And we're also seeing a lot of really, really talented content creators who do approach sports and F1 and any topic from a very journalistic point of view.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely like integrity and research there, and you need the same sort of skills. So whether you're presenting to your own audience or to a curated audience that's, a media outlet, you still have to have your facts right. You still have to have some context, and you also have to have the skill of being able to communicate that with that audience in whatever way that is. So I've been loving it because now you're going to have more people who have already set their audience. So like Kaye Francis, I know he's like a great, uh, he does more like, fun content, but
Yeah.
his voice coming up it's not like they'll want to completely change it upon like hiring him or working with him or something like that, because I know he's working with the teams now. And I really enjoy seeing Tiggy Valen of his Paddock project.
Mm-hmm.
She does great coverage of business,
Mm-hmm.
like that side of F1. And I've also seen her show up on news shows. So she's still able to give her perspective while on a truly traditional media outlet. So I love that, all of these different content creators are coming to it with integrity and their own journalistic skills.
I agree. I think that's kind of my favorite part of this era of content creation and motorsport and just like journalism that we're in is that one, it feels like there's space for everyone, especially for people who are just starting off or people who are veterans who've always, I guess, had a dream of doing something like this. And now there's space for them to do it as well. And it's just, I don't think it's easy access. I wouldn't say that it
No.
is, but I do think it's just lovely that there's so much more opportunity for people from all parts of the world, from all different walks of life as well. I think that's really important because now there's some access for people who may have not had that access before, which is what I really like about it. And like you mentioned, people come with their best foot forward with integrity. And it's like, I get so excited whenever I see a person that I follow or a content creator that I really admire on like a news network talking about motorsport,
Yeah,
talking
me
about
too.
Formula One. It's amazing.
I love it. It gets me so excited. It's like, yes, because they are like a specialist, and I love to see
Hmm.
them, get a bigger microphone and like just be able to talk about it. It's a truly wonderful and sort of exciting time in F1, at least, that I'm noticing. And like you said, it's not easy. And it's not, there's no real very clear path. So, unless you like live in London where BBC and Sky Sports
Do
are.
you know how many
Um,
times where I'm like, I should move to London?
Let me tell you, when I was there, I was like, okay, so how do I sneak in and then not leave?
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
can I just make a little like bed in the corner
Just
somewhere?
like blend into the wall. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You'll never know. I have to tell you, I hope this doesn't come across like a brag. I was at some event, I was at a wedding, and I saw a few things pop up on Threads. So I went and I looked, and somebody was like, oh, instead of Danica Patrick, we should get Sarah. And I was like, I
yes.
legit
Absolutely sign me up.
like straight up
Whoever said that
cried.
knows what they're talking about.
I need the
Oh,
petition.
I mean, I'm not about like competing with
No, of
other
course not.
presenters, and I've never seen her present because I have F1 TV, so I'm
Yeah,
always
same
with
here.
Laura Winters and Lawrence Barretto and all of
Same
that.
here.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
like, guys,
Yeah.
I
I
only
just
have
see
F1
things.
TV as well.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my gosh, they see me as a presenter, like straight up cried. It
That
was
must be such
ridiculous.
a warm feeling. Like, of
It
course, we're not
was,
here for competition. Like, there's space for
yeah.
everyone. But the fact that someone sees something in you where they would love to have you there, even if they were seeing it in like maybe a shady way, it's still amazing because they see you. And like, you would also, just side note, be great at it, by the way. So if you ever get that call, please say yes.
You guys
Yes.
are like making me flush so bad.
We're just getting you ready. We're just getting you ready for the bigger audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna need like heavy bass makeup or something.
80s style TV makeup.
Oh yeah. But no,
Red
it's
face girl.
no. But I think sort of while we may all watch a sport that is about getting to the finish line first and doing the thing first, I think
Yeah.
for us as content creators, the community is so important for feeling like we're actually part of the sport and feeling like we're involved. And so I really do appreciate that the F1 community has so many welcoming and warm people and supportive people like the two of you.
I mean, same with the two of you. And I have just been like overwhelmed anytime I sort of like reach out or, happen to meet somebody. I'm like, oh, I don't know what they're going to be like in person,
Mhm.
right? Or like when I actually talk to them and then they're the nicest ever. And you're like, oh, okay, great. Like,
I was nervous for no reason.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're actually super nice. Like, you're not worried or like I'm sure it's out there. And
Mhm.
again, I'm still new. I'm sure it's out there, but I just appreciate how exactly. Like the competition is on the track. And I think many of us are also already like sort of crossover fans because like there are very few people that at least I come across that are, I'm only this one
Mm-hmm.
particular outcome. There are so many of us now where it's like, oh, well, my favorite driver's on this team, but I also like this team principal
Mm-hmm.
over here. And I also like this driver on this other team. So there's definitely a little bit more flexibility in terms of loyalty.
Yeah. Tell that to someone
That-
from like
For
30 years
sure.
ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
then maybe there isn't like football or basketball or something like
Yes.
that, at least for Americans.
Yeah. And
Yeah, for
speaking
sure.
of meeting new people and like just being nervous to meet new people,
Yeah.
you took the chance, I would say, of like a lifetime very early on. I mean, we're still very early on in your career in this
Yeah.
industry, which is so crazy to say because you've accomplished so much. But you were the director of operations for the Paddock Journal, and you have since returned to working as a freelance presenter and writer for them. What was it about the Paddock Journal specifically that piqued your interest and pushed you to reach out to Esme? And when you reached out to Esme, did you have any idea that it was going to grow into what it is now?
Oh goodness, no, no way. Um, yeah, so I did that. I think it was Laura Winter had shared that Esme, one of her the Paddock Journal post. So Esme is a freelance photographer, and she had worked with Laura Winter and done a photo shoot with her because they live in the same town. So it was one of those
Yeah.
things where they knew each other, and so Laura, who has always been very supportive of women in motorsport,
Mm-hmm.
reshared a post to her story where Esme said she was looking for writers. And I was like, oh, I love writing. I wish I had more time for it, but I love writing. So let me reach out. So I pitched her a story. I just sent her a message. I was like, hey, I saw you were looking for stories. This is what I'm thinking. And if there's anybody out there who's looking to get into writing, I would say certainly practice and hone up that skill, but when you talk to any types of news outlets or agencies or magazines, have ideas. Because we would get a lot of requests, and thankfully I wasn't in charge of any of that. Um, but people just, hey, can I write for you? We're like, yes, but what?
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
pitched her the idea of the Paddock Pass and what it meant. Because I knew that my friends outside of F1 had seen that on the fashion girly sort of accounts, but they didn't have any idea of what it was or what the context was. So I wrote that article. We worked together, and that one did pretty well. And then a little bit later, I did another one, and we stayed in touch. And at some point, she's like, "Sarah, how do we make money? Like,
That's the real question.
Oh
how do
my
we make
oh
money?"
my god.
And this is September. Neither of us had made any money yet, just to be
Wow.
clear. I had one person give me a Ko-Fi subscription. So shout out to Audrey. Thank you, Audrey.
Shout out
Um,
Audrey.
but otherwise, there was like nothing. And so I think the next day I sent her a voice note and I was like, well, I used to work in print. So what if we printed the magazine? And she was like, yeah, that sounds great. Can we do it by my birthday, which was December 10th? I
Well.
was like, sure.
Hell yeah.
I don't like, we could try as long as we don't tell anybody. Like, let's try and see what happens. And so we just immediately got to work. Started brainstorming, started planning. At the same time, I'm also, trying to make all of my content. And I ended up going through a few different vendors. We decided to do print on demand, which makes the individual cost much higher. But that way we didn't have to raise a ton of capital and go into debt to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had Charlotte Quinn starting on the article, and she was looking at who she wanted to be the cover star. I don't know how. They got in contact with Cassidy Talris and the
Wow.
TWG group. Yeah. And she agreed to an interview, and I was like, oh, okay, this is like happening.
Deal.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like printing metrics and like Excel spreadsheets. And SB's like, you got to come to Miami. I was like, okay. So it was like, buy last minute flights. Just gonna go do a photo shoot with a brand new F1 team on the Miami track. So it
Jaw drop.
quickly just, I think when you guys talk about community, I think that was resonating both from the Paddock Journal and my own account, because when we were talking to, I got to work with the amazing Ryan Weatherford at TWG. She took us very seriously from the start. Like, even though we weren't huge, she was incredibly respectful. And I think that only, having a nice supportive community is something that comes through when you're, in this motorsport world. And so she was able to see that, and just, I don't know what kind of magic happened, but it all came together, and it was a lot of work. I would not recommend launching a magazine in like 3 months. So, if anybody out there,
Oh God.
take a little bit more time.
Yeah, you did the speed run version.
You
We
really
We
did.
brought in a lot of help, and I don't know everybody. I mean, I know everybody, but like, we brought in so much help. It really was a group effort and a true like passion project that just everybody believed in. And there were certainly some bumps on the way. It didn't all go smoothly, but it happened.
Yeah.
We did it. Yeah.
Oh,
So that was
nice.
really great. And then that'll be, so we did the first one, and then it'll continue to be an annual publication. So we're not
Okay.
having to, you know.
That'll be really exciting. I love a good magazine, and
Yeah.
I've always wanted to create something like that, but I'm like, I don't even know where to start. When I saw the Paddock Journal, I was like, perfect. I don't have to start it myself. Someone else is already doing it.
Very similar. I was like, this is a great account. And just Laura sharing it
Yeah.
brought me to it, but seeing, Esme's whole style on it, and her take was very different than what I was doing on my audience. So for me, it was another outlet, because on my channel, I tend to stay pretty niche. It's all about explaining how F1 works and the strategy of it. And I'm not talking about the culture so much, and everything around it, but the Paddock Journal was a great outlet for me to do that for a change. Yeah.
That's kind of what I love about, I guess, this era of Formula One, is that there's I feel like a lot of people kind of like dip their toes into so many different avenues. Like, yeah, you can be like niche in your own like world, but like there's so many people who put themselves into fashion, into music, into art and the design. It's such a cool amalgamation of things, which is what I really love about, like, I guess, this era of one Formula One, and just like content creation, and media in general in the space that we're in.
Yeah, it's less directed and more democratic in a way.
Yeah.
I would certainly say. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and you get to meet all types of people and how they come into the sport with their own take and their own angles and their own hobbies.
Oh, for sure.
Glitz on the Grid, she did a bedazzled purse for me, and it like blows my mind how good it is.
Oh my gosh, I need.
Yeah. And she also did like a little coin purse, so it's on my bag every single day, like a little Pirelli tire.
I'm so obsessed.
Yeah, it's so great. It's like, oh, so you're a crafter, and there's still a space for you here. It's just wonderful how many people can find their own sort of version of fandom.
Exactly. And you mentioned earlier, when you guys were setting up the Paddock Journal and working with a new F1 team, which is very exciting and very, like, you got like kind of an exclusive, if we're gonna be honest, you did, which is pretty rad. So you've had the wonderful opportunity to work alongside some great teams. We know you've done some partnerships with Williams, Audi, and of course Cadillacs. How did all of that even come into fruition for you?
Oh, yeah. So, my interview with Cassidy, Tauris of Cadillac, she is amazing. And you can tell, certain times when you talk to somebody, you're like, oh, that's an engineering mind, like at work. Like, even not being, one of the engineers, like, oh my goodness, she's so smart. And she thinks about everything very deeply and in layers, and about how it's going to follow out in like the next 10 steps, not just the next step. But that was her first interview, and also my first interview.
Oh, okay.
No way.
All right, we're in this together, I guess.
Yes, and it was at the end of a day. We had been shooting all day photographs. She was so nice, welcomed us into her home, had food, was like, oh, you can just move the furniture. And I'm like, no, I'm afraid to touch the furniture. Like, not because she was being precious, but I'm like, this is somebody else's house.
Yeah, I know.
Like, So I was definitely a little bit nervous, and so was she. And I just And thankfully Ryan was there too, and so was Esme. And I just told her sort of, hey, these are the topics I'm going to go over. Like, so she would know what I was asking as a
Mhm.
first time interviewee, and me just wanting to make sure we had something comfortable. And then we recorded it in one take. And I was like, oh, I didn't
Okay.
trip over my tongue. For some reason, when my brain knows it's being like live and there's an audience, it like locks in. So whatever that is, I can't explain, but that was just a wonderful experience. And then I also got to go to Germany and talk to some of the BP engineers about all of their work that they're doing to make a more sustainable fuel. And then the craziest set of interviews I've ever done was at the Autosport Awards, because
Yeah.
I've I've never done a red carpet. Like every time I'm doing something, it's like first time. Um, never done a red carpet, and it was packed. Like we were in there, like, very, very tightly. Thankfully, I was next to some wonderful content creators who were very friendly, and were just so nice about all of it. And it was just very on the spot. I was extremely jet lagged.
I can imagine.
And at that point, your brain kind of starts shutting down. So thankfully, I think being jet lagged maybe helps a little bit to not be so nervous. But yeah, it's been a little bit crazy to have done that, because I got to interview Andrea Stella and ask him about how he was preparing. And apparently I met some British celebrities. I had no idea who they were at first.
Oh my God, what?
I'm screaming.
Yeah, yeah. So it was all like quiet and chaotic, and I'm like, who is this? Like next to next to me.
It's
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
devil wears Prada.
Yes,
Literally.
yes. That's what it was. That's what it was. Because I was like, okay, like I watch like Sam Collins every week. Like I'm the technical person. Now I was there for the Paddock Journal as like a freelance reporter, so I'm asking the fashion questions. And I'm like, what are fashion questions? Um, you know, like we're on the stairs like 2 minutes before I have to go start asking them, coming up with them. Like it was just a very chaotic day. But I think overall it went well. So hopefully there's more versions of that to come.
Fingers
But yeah,
crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed. I got to interview Dorian Penn at a WhatsApp
Yeah,
dinner
I
in Vegas.
saw.
She was so friendly. So that was my first driver interview. She was just so gracious, despite the fact she'd been up crazy early and then she'd been stuck in traffic for an hour. And she was just like giving hugs and happy and just like, oh, it was just really wonderful to meet somebody who was as excited to be there as I was, if you know what I mean. Like okay, our energies match. This is going to be fun. This is going to be good. So yeah, definitely been a year of crazy first.
That's incredible. That's actually so incredible.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's a first time for everything, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly. It's first time for everything. That's a great way to put it.
yeah, I also know that you did. You got to go to the Audi headquarters recently.
Yes. Yes, I did. So that was in Germany. That was a great trip where I got to meet other content creators as well and talk to Luke Jolly. That was my first time in a racing simulator.
Okay. And how was
And my
that?
first time doing a hot lap.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the simulator was the only place we crashed. But
Thankfully.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I know it's getting dark in here too, so let
Oh,
me know
it's
if I need to
fine.
turn on the lights. But the
Don't
hot
worry,
lap,
it's yeah.
okay, okay. The hot lap was awesome. I was like, I could do this all day, every day, guys.
Yeah.
All day. Like, can we go again? I genuinely asked one of the guys who was nervous if I could take his turn, and they were like, "No, this is a fresh thing. Like you had your lap, Sarah." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So I might have a few speeding tickets from my younger years, we'll
Okay,
say.
Sarah.
The area I lived in was mostly swamp.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I grew up in Louisiana when I had my license, and I would commute from a suburb to downtown in the city. So there was a good half-hour stretch of nothing. Like there are no exits. There's
Okay.
nothing but
Yeah.
swamp. So you just
Fair.
um Anyway, so I love the feeling of speed, and I even asked him, I'm like, can we drift it over some curbs because it's raining? Can we do that, please? Um, so
You're
I was
so
having a
cool.
lot of fun. I would love to do that a million times more. They were like, "Don't eat breakfast," and I was like, "No, this was fine, guys. Like you can have breakfast before you go." But yeah, I would love to do that more. And then the simulator was so much fun, and of course I crashed right away because I've never been in a racing simulator, and I don't know anything about video games though.
Neither do I.
But
So
yeah, yeah. But it was like an actual driving experience
that's
that
crazy.
I quickly found how addictive it could be because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so cool. There are no consequences. I can go full pedal, gas pedal down. I don't have to wreck anybody. I'm not on a real road or anything. So that's a goal for me this year is to get a
Me
maybe a
too.
really?
I've
Okay, we
really
got to
been
race.
thinking about it. We've got to do it. We've got to do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I'm so down. I'm so
Yes.
down.
I've been thinking about it for the past few months. I'm like, should I just bite the bullet and just like do it? I
Just
think
do
I
it.
will.
Yeah, you should. I got to meet Kirith and go to F1 Arcade in London with him. He's a great um, F1 sim driver, racer, and content creator. He has a
Okay.
bunch of tutorials on YouTube.
I
So
will
if
be
you want to get
watching.
into it, yeah,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, get into it.
For sure.
You definitely, if either of you are ever in Rome, there's a place called SF Emotion,
Yeah.
and they have an F1 simulator, but they also have a life-sized Red Bull F1 car that you sit in to do the simulator. And like they'll put you in a race suit.
All right.
No,
Sign me
I
up.
would love that. I would
Shall
love
I
that
book a
lot.
flight to Rome?
So like, let's all do a trip to Rome. Like,
Yes, yes. Rome, would you bring over a few of us? We need to share a
please,
car.
Mr. Rome, Mr. Italy.
That's just how it works, right?
You know?
Of course.
Little call.
course.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course.
I want to jump back to your experience at the Audi headquarters. You had mentioned you interviewed Luke Jolly. You also, I believe, talked to Alan McNish.
Yes. Okay, so
Big names.
I was blown away because they brought him to us to hang out with us all day. He was like our tour guide. Yeah,
Perfect.
it was wild. So they have a small driving experience building. They bring everybody in who does sort of the test track that they have there with their like regular Audi cars. And then, and so he was telling us all about his history with Audi there. And then he walked with us to the F1 headquarters. And then he was telling us about the entire history because they have it on this huge wall next to the stairs, all of their race wins across different series. And then he took us to the trophy case and he was pointing out all of the different trophies and where they're all from. And yeah, that was my face. I'm just like, I have so
Wow.
many clips of just him talking. I'm like, gosh, I have to do something with this, but I don't want to edit it because it's so perfect. Yeah, yeah. Like, what do you? He was so friendly. You know, you never know as a female coming into this motorsport world, and I don't have a racing background and I don't have an engineering background. Like, surely they're not going to be excited to talk to me, but they were, and they were so gracious with everybody that was there. So I just had the best time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You know, it's so funny you say that because I have that same fear all the time too. But one thing I've learned about people in the motorsport industry is that they love to talk about their jobs. They
Well,
really
yeah.
do. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm certainly loving it. So any chance for somebody to just listen maybe is
I think that's
it's
it.
okay. Yeah. And I've had the chance to sort of meet different people. Not all of them are recorded interviews, but they are excited. Like
Yeah.
they're just so excited to have somebody to talk about because as big as F1 is when it comes to our personal lives, not everybody in our life, even if you're an F1 engineer, knows or cares about all of the little details. So,
Yeah.
you know, finding somebody who does is always a treat.
It's magical. And I
Yeah.
feel like we're kind of going full circle right now back to the beginning of your career in the motorsport industry, and F1 specifically, should I say. And I hope you don't hate me for this, but I definitely did do a deep dive into your Instagram.
Oh, it's fine.
I was like,
trust me. Look, that's what I tell people. I'm like, look, it did not start off like this. Okay.
But you know what, Sarah? Like, it's so awesome to see. It was so organic, and I loved every single like just to see like how you found like your niche was so cool, and from what I noticed, you had two videos that kind of went viral. There was one about the Lewis Hamilton stars on his helmet.
Which was like didn't feature me at all.
Know.
So there was like that did go viral, but like I didn't get any followers from that. And they would go to my page and like the fuck.
I hate when they do that. It's like, just follow me too, please.
Yep. Like, I didn't do this for nothing. I have more.
But yeah. So you had that one, but it was really your DRS video, which you released on March 26, 2025, that I would say kind of changed the trajectory of your career in motorsport, as in the sense, like, it kind of like, people were so interested in that, and they kept asking you questions about like things like that it pushed you into making more tech-related content. Were you ever nervous continuing on once you started seeing that there was a serious group of people that were starting to follow you? And like, did you ever have a freak out where you're like, you know what, let's not do this?
I will yes and no. Gosh. So yeah, I was, because I did go from very little following, not nothing. I was very happy to like, I went from like nothing, like 100 to 1,000 overnight.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy. And then it just kept going. So trying to replicate that and that energy was definitely, I felt a little bit of pressure there. But at the same time, like, that video has mistakes. It is not perfect. So for me, I was like, oh God, of course, my most embarrassing one goes popular. I could do better, I promise. And so that was my real like driving motivation there, was like, okay, if they like this, surely I can do more that is in this line that's even better or even more well-informed. Of course, nothing went as popular as that. But I think
it did.
No complaints. I'm happy to have it. But it was a true turning point where it went from being, this is something I'm trying to make happen, to, like, this could be something that I actually do. And like you said, that was only a few weeks. So that was March. If that was March 26th, I didn't post my first video until March 10th.
Yeah.
So it was very quick.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't tell anybody I was doing my account. I was like, no, this is a testing period. Yeah.
I did the same thing too when I started my account.
Good. I mean, in a way, it's nice because it lets it live in your own head and you can see how you feel about it. And all of my friends and family are very supportive. But then I feel like, they're like, yes, of course you can do it. You'll be great. And then there's that pressure to be great internally. At least for me. So starting it on my own, 0 followers, block everybody, just like see what happens.
Yeah.
And then that video came up on my husband's feed.
Of course it did. And the secret's out.
Yeah. And of course he was very excited and supportive.
I know. It's just all it always happens that way.
Yeah. No. It was all great. But it was like one of those moments like, what?
Yep.
Like, what is that going on here? I'm like, I don't know. New hobby unlocked.
You know.
Yeah.
You're like, don't worry about it, babe. Just don't worry about it. Just scroll. Just keep scrolling.
Keep going. But it definitely changed everything, because at that point, when you have a little bit of momentum, if you can build on that and continue it, you can take it further. But that's what I call the luck, because I posted that video on both Instagram and TikTok, and on TikTok it went nowhere.
TikTok's a whole nother jungle that I'm
trying
to navigate.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram it did well. I'm like, okay, well then this is my home. Then this is where I'm gonna be.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was very crazy because you were talking about that refresh, and I was doing that. I'm like, how does this keep happening? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, you're like, it's gonna stop, right?
Right. And I was like, okay, so what do I do now? Like, what do I do with this audience?
You're like, oh, suddenly there's thousands of people watching me. Hello.
Yeah, like, oh boy, okay. I will say that, like you said, there are thousands of people watching. It is a blessing to start small and to find your own voice. Like, people who are like, oh, could you give me advice? And I go to their page and there's like 2 posts. So it's like, no, you don't need my advice yet. You just
Not
need to
yet.
keep,
Yeah.
just keep going. Just keep trying your own thing. See what works for you. And whenever I'm presenting or whenever I'm talking to camera in my house, I'm always trying to talk as if I'm excitedly telling my best friend something. So that's the energy I'm trying to bring to it. So there's a
It
lot
comes
of different,
across.
okay, good. There's a lot of different
It does.
personalities out there, but if you're watching my video, then you're my friend. So here I am. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I'm excited about, and that's sort of the voice that I've stuck with because that's
Mhm.
what was in that video. So instead of
Mhm.
doing
Hmm.
things more toned down and serious and ASMR talking about it, I've decided to keep it fun.
Yeah. Completely.
F1 ASMR does not sound like it would calm you down. I imagine just like
Right.
tires. Like,
It would not.
no,
Right.
it's like the opposite of what ASMR is like. But you touched a bit on the early part of your journey as well as sort of people reaching out to you for advice. I want to go back to Sarah from 10 months ago, let's say, or 9 months ago. What is one piece of advice that you would give Sarah in February 2025, March, April, before everything changed? Like one thing to get her ready that you know now that you wish you knew back then.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's certainly a tricky one. I tend to be somebody who looks forward, like what can I do and
Yeah.
what's the next thing. But I definitely think looking back on those earlier months, the emotional roller coaster, even if from the outside it only looked like good things are happening, sort of like I'm not one to complain or say that this wasn't a crazy opportunity, but experiencing it firsthand was definitely, there were highs and lows. And then
Mhm.
also, I wanted to be so in it. And I'm like, well, this is only happening because I'm posting every day. And so I would get very focused on that. So I think if I was going to give myself any advice back then, it would have just been just breathe. It's going to work out. Take care of yourself first. There is not a race for success. You're not
Mhm.
racing to success. It's about steadiness and just continuing to build a little bit better each time. Even if it doesn't, even if something flops, it's fine. Just go to the next one. Just go to the next one. Just keep moving forward. So yeah, I guess that would be my advice. And to anybody who's going through it or wanting to go through it, it will be crazy, it will be disappointing and exciting. So, just enjoy those first, I guess, while you can.
Yeah, because you're not gonna get those back as well too, right? So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you
yeah.
never know, like that high that you're riding might be it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then something else might be it. And then something else is different. So don't put too much pressure on yourselves to hit whatever level of success you're aiming for. It doesn't have to happen right away. So,
Mhm. I
you
think
know,
that's great advice to give to yourself and to anyone listening as well too. I think that's something people could definitely take in any career that they're
yeah.
in, not just Formula One related for sure.
Absolutely. And I think what's not always clear to anybody who's seeing my channel or who's asking me for advice is I'm somebody who's come up through marketing
Hmm.
and social media is part of that. And I've also worked with the Chicago Tribune and different media outlets
Awesome.
and with PR agencies. So I do understand some of the pitfalls already. I
Hmm.
understand some of the back end, not necessarily presenting as much, but like how to write a caption and
Hmm.
how to add alt text to your things. And there's all of these different, they're not tricks.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a great video, like clearly, like I'm nothing on TikTok. It's not going to make a huge difference. But I do have a background in this world. And I think some people who are coming in to it straight away and hoping for that same success, it's like, it's okay, take your time. This is you learning how this whole
Mm-hmm.
world works. So,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
don't use comparison as a yardstick of success.
What is that quote?
That
Comparison is the thief of joy, is the enemy of joy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Yep, yep.
So, yeah, unless
Yeah.
you're an actual race driver.
Yeah,
Um,
that's completely different. Be
don't
competitive,
worry
comparison.
about
I'm kidding.
Even then, comparison is
It
kind of a
really
thief of their
is.
joy
It really is.
It really is, yeah. Yeah.
You know. And speaking of, I guess I know for myself, I make some videos that go absolutely nowhere, but yeah, I'm so proud of them. And then
Yeah,
I make some videos that I don't love that much, but they somehow do well. But you know, it always happens that way. For you, what
exactly.
would you say is one video that you've made that you may have not even shared that you are most proud of?
Ooh. Oh, that's so difficult.
I know.
That's funny. It's like my most popular video. I'm like, oh, I should have said this in X, Y, and Z. I will say one thing I was proud of that you say a video I haven't shared, and I didn't share this for technical reasons, but I was at the Cadillac Grand reveal in
Yes, you
Times
were.
Square. It was such a great event, and I was out and it was very cold. But there was this big crowd, and I had gotten onto the other side of the barricade, and I pulled out my phone, whipped it up, and did a little recording session. Like, and there were people actively trying to talk to me while I'm recording. So that's why I didn't share because the
Fair.
audio, even though I had my mics, it was very loud and you could clearly they were so close to me and I was just like, okay, so this is not going to work. Like later when I got back, I was like, darn. But I was able to remain composed and actually talk while there's a crowd of people around me and I have no support person, no like producer or camera person to like block it out. So for me, I was like, hey, like, okay, I could do this. Like, I can be in a crowded room and
Mhm.
just like put on my professional face and talk. So for me, like that was, you know, because I was the only one in the barricade still, like they were about to shut this thing down. So I was like, oh, there's like nobody else around and everybody's staring at you. And I didn't lose my head. So for me, that was my proudest moment to be like, okay, I can
Yeah.
do this in public. Because normally, I mean, I'm right here, I'm at
Yeah.
home. So that's it was definitely an interesting test that
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fun.
That's
So
amazing. It was like a growing moment.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, oh, like yeah, I can do this. If I ever got hired for this, like I don't have to worry about the stage fright part of it. So yeah, that was nice.
That actually leads really perfectly into our last question for you
Okay.
because you do have the skill set of presenting, but you are a jack of all trades when it comes to content creation. And I don't mean that just in terms of videos. Like you've done content, whether it's written or video or audio, like you're doing with us, from tech to fashion to writing to presenting. You've kind of dipped your toe in many different aspects of this space. So, question for you is, how did that come to be, and what is next for Sarah on the grid?
Oh goodness, I love the Botas reference. Um, what's next? I think that's just sort of like we were talking about how fans can create their own space. For me, I've always loved obviously like talking, but education is something that other people have come and said to me that they've noticed as a skill. So whether that's been with friends and family or with jobs, I've ended up leading a bunch of trainings on different topics because I had that ability to take somebody and who knows nothing about the sport and find the context that they need to understand the sport and then connect it, whether that's in motorsport or anything else in life. So that's what the presenting is. But I also love that explainer through a visual medium. And I've always loved working with visual mediums. That's why I got a film degree. So that's how I ended up creating all of my guides.
Mm-hmm.
And then the writing is just another way to explain things. So I would maybe say I'm a high communicator, and there are different
Yeah.
avenues that that's come out from, whether it's in print or, like you said, an audio or video. But I think what I want to do next is double the hours I have in a day.
Yep.
And then,
Of course, the dream.
like, if we could, if I had like a whole crew of people helping me, I would certainly add on the sim racing. I got so into it. Anytime you take me to an F1 arcade now, it's something in my brain locks in. So I love that. Get very competitive. I crash all the other cars. Like,
Oh no!
It's fine. But I really enjoyed learning about racing from that angle, because when you're in a driver's seat, well, even though it's a video game, but in that driver's seat, like going up the hill in Austin in the car perspective is very different than doing it from when I just walked it, or when you see it from a video screen, and having to navigate it. I was like, oh, so I feel like I personally have a lot of learning to do there. And then I would love to do more long form on YouTube, have a series there, because every video I post on Instagram, I get under 2 minutes, but that started off as a 6 to 8 minute video.
I know the feeling. We know the feeling, should I say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think, and I'm so happy to be a guest on podcasts, but again, that's a whole different level of work. So I'm hoping to find more partners, like podcasters or in media, people who are already have that audience and have the production and that side of it, so that I can be more of a guest that comes on and focuses on the education and the creativity there, versus having to do so much of the computer side of the work.
Stuff. Yeah, for sure.
The admin or the editing and the all of that. I think editors and people who are able to do admin work,
Shout out to them.
Shout out. Let me tell you, undervalued skill.
Honestly.
Honestly.
Yep.
So yeah, if I had my wish, yeah, it would definitely be a sim rig, more opportunities to do presenting, and just more opportunities to talk for longer and to go deeper on these topics that I'm so passionate about.
For sure, for sure. Oh, Sarah, this has been such a pleasure. I know.
Honestly.
Honestly, like, if we weren't on a time limit, I would talk to you for hours and hours. Truly, it has been such a pleasure to have you on our pod. And I just have to say, I truly... Misha and I, we truly love how you manifested your career. I don't know if you think about it, but you actually are Sarah on the grid, quite literally.
Yeah.
And I do think that is such a beautiful thing to say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you guys are...
No,
we mean it. Of course, we wouldn't say it otherwise.
I remember when we were discussing who we wanted to have on our pod. We've already interviewed 2 other people, but we are like, Sarah.
Sarah.
We need Sarah.
Sarah, we need Sarah.
Said yes.
We
were so happy.
We were so happy. Thank you.
But
it truly means a lot. And honestly, this is the best part, is just that connection. And I just hope that there's more of it. Yeah, please, we'll definitely talk again.
Oh, for sure. Especially,
absolutely.
As you're
not getting rid of us. Good luck.
No, but it's true.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me.
And before we let you go, please let our audience know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm Sarah on the Grid. That's a Sarah with an H. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Threads as well. I think we have a little bit of fun over there. And yes, you can also find me on LinkedIn, where we do all the business talk. So try to be a little bit everywhere, mostly Instagram. I feel like that's where, the real education comes together.
That's amazing. Thank you again so much, Sarah. We really, truly enjoyed. I can't even speak. You got me all flustered.
No, honestly, this has been such an amazingly fun episode to film, and listening to you and learning from you in a longer span of time, other than just your 2-minute videos. So I'm here for the YouTube series. Yes. Please.
Okay. We'll work on the YouTube series this year. I just talked to another content creator. They're like, you should do YouTube. I'm like, okay, you give me 20 hours. But no, we'll just
man.
manifest it. We'll just make it
Of
happen.
Yeah.
Of course. This has been the Hold the Past podcast. I've been your host, Fatima.
And I've been your host, Misha.
And if you like this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please don't forget to share. You can find us at Hold the Past Podcast on Spotify and wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you would like to connect with us, you can find us at Hold the Past Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you all so much for viewing this, and we'll see you on the next one. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and... What's going on?
We're tired.
No, like actually. Okay, third time's a charm. I'm gonna get it.
Yep.
I promise.
You got this, girl.